found that there were a lot of really bright, smart, committed people in a system that was fundamentally flawed. There's a huge disconnect, I think, between the good people who really do care and are trying their best, and the kind of bad results that we get as a system. And I said, how can you have so many really smart people who really care, work hard, and love kids, and then we have a disconnect between, how the performance actually plays out. So that was one. Number two, a lack of trust from families and community members all over the city. Kind of a broken trust, if you will. People who have been used to fighting with the administration, Chancellor and the Chancellor's team, that they were always ready for the fight. And I had watched that from afar before I got here, but once I got here, it was really interesting for me to see just how the depth of feeling of various members of the communities around the city who felt as though the DOE, as they describe it, really doesn't care about what happens with our kids, right? And I think that's a pervasive feeling. The other thing I would tell you that you find in terms of the lay of the land, that it's hard to fully assess until you're sitting in a seat like this, is just how massive this system is. It's the largest school system in the country, and there's not even a close second, just in terms of sheer size. I like to describe it, I say that the whole world actually lives here in New York. And when you're the chancellor and you can go on a day from Ocean Hill, Brownsville, with all black folks for the most part, and then I can go out to other parts of Brooklyn where there are folks with the background is Russian Jewish and Ukrainian, and then go out to Staten Island. The diversity of experience, background, history, it is, I find it really, really exciting. If you're a person who has intellectual curiosity and you like to learn about different people and cultures and communities, you won't find a better place than right here in New York and in our schools. Because every community around the city has schools attached to it. And here's the other thing I will tell you that I've seen. That when they said necessarily I saw it on day one, but I've seen it since I've been here. You really see the commonality of what everybody wants. Everybody just wants to have a good school, live in a nice community, have their kids be safe, and kids are just doing well. I went to a school yesterday in Staten Island that I visited because the custodian in that school had been in that school for 43 years, and he was killed in an auto accident. So the whole school is actually in mourning. And Mr. Benny, as they call him, right? Now, think about it. Generations of kids and their families knew that man as the custodian. He was part of the fabric of the school. And I went there just to extend my condolences and to stand with them. And overwhelming majority of white kids that are there, those kids, and this happens to me everywhere I go, those kids were so happy that I was there. And initially, I think when I came in, I had a sense of most kids don't know who the chancellor is. Kids know who their teacher is, and they know who their principal, and maybe their superintendent, right? But if you're in the 4th grade, even the 8th grade, you care about your teachers that are teaching you every day, and if your principal has a big presence, you know your principal. That's what these kids don't really know the chancellor. The adults know who the chancellor is. I have been absolutely shocked by how many kids know who I am. And I think that's because our team here has done a good job of getting me out there. And so I'm on the news quite a bit. Former Chancellor Joe Klein, I had dinner with him, and he said to me, within a year, there won't be anybody in New York who doesn't know who you are. And I think I've been surprised more by the kids, the young kids, who are like, that's the chancellor, that's the chancellor. And I'm sitting there going, how do they know who the chancellor is? But they know, and their families know. And I think people are feeling like we are on the right track. There's still lots of issues to deal with, but I think we are rebuilding that trust and helping families to connect. I have town hall meetings on a regular basis, the panel for educational policy. We do not have the level of discord that had existed in the past.